Cuba, once a quiet Cold War flashpoint, is suddenly back at the center of the global tension. And this time, the question being asked in Washington is explosive. Is Donald Trump preparing a new confrontation after what the critics are calling a failed Iran operation? Hi, this is Navya Bal and you're watching TimesXP. Reports and diplomatic statements now point to a rising friction in the United States and Cuba, with Cuban officials openly warning that their sovereignty is under threat. But here's where it gets even more intense. Cuba's ambassador to the United States has rejected the US claim that portray of Havana and security threat. He says Cuba is not preparing aggression, but preparing to defend itself. And that changes the tone completely. Because this is no longer just about sanctions, it is about suspicion, escalation, and fear of what comes next. However, US position is very different here. After the political and military fallout linked to the recent global conflicts involving Iran and Venezuela, critics say that Washington's attention has now shifted sharply towards Cuba. And according to diplomatic observers, the pressure is not new, but it is intensifying. The US has already maintained a very long-standing economic blockade on Cuba. But now the reports suggest that fuel restrictions have tightened it further and creating a widespread blackout, shortages, and economic strain across the island. And yet, the Cuban government argues that it is not pressure, but punishment. It says that the aim is political control, not security at all. But let me mark it a point. That's not all. The shift comes after the major regional changes, including collapse of Venezuela's leadership under Nicolas Maduro, a longtime ally of Havana. With the support weakened, Cuba's economic lifelines have also been disrupted. Fuel shipments reduced, the trade routes strained, and economic isolation deepening. Now Washington is reportedly increasing diplomatic and intelligence activity in the region. So, pressure from all sides. While no official military plan has been confirmed yet, the rhetoric is sharpening on the both sides. The US frames its actions as pressure against instability and regional threats, while Cuba calls it something entirely different: the economic warfare. And here's the real question emerging. Well, basically behind the headlines. It is simply the constitutional for decades-long US-Cuban hostility or beginning of a new geopolitical phase in the Caribbean. A big question mark, by the way. Because when the sanctions tighten, alliances shift, and rhetoric escalates, history suggests something larger is always building underneath. And for Cuba, already facing blackouts, shortages, and isolation, the next move from Washington may define its most critical moment in the years. The world is watching closely to see what comes next for Cuba and for the world. What are your thoughts on this? Make sure to comment down below.